to the Pacific Division and the Kraken. It's so exciting that they are on that screen. They will compete this year. They did not get the research department's vote. The team that did, the Los Angeles Kings. You were talking about talented prospects as we look at their additions and their lone subtraction. One of their additions made himself a huge, huge splash during the playoffs when each round, all anyone could talk about was Phillip Danault shutting down forwards. Here's Danault.
I think it was a pretty obvious choice, to be honest. They the one that demonstrate the most belief in me, and they recognize what I did a lot in playoff and during the season as well. And yeah, they explained me a role for the future as well, and how they see me in the organization. They value me as a really high top player, so it was an obvious choice, and I obviously love the history of the Kings, and I'm really pumped to be here in Los Angeles.
Making the roster better. I think when you talk about the forwards and Arvidsson and Danault, obviously top six forwards will unfold, different combinations and things as Todd sees fit when we go forward. And I think Alex, can play the minutes required of a top four defenseman and the situations required of that. So how we distribute it, that'll be, taken by Todd. But I think what we were doing was improving our team in all those situations.
Los Angeles fans are ecstatic about a centerman who had 1 goal in 22 games. You can help them understand why the impact of Danault will help Anze Kopitar.
Well, now Kopitar can even go to another level, I would think, offensively. Look, he's always going to be a great 200-foot player. He's been so good throughout his career and on a way to a Hall of Fame career.
No doubt.
As a matter of fact. But a lot of their key veterans that were part of those 2 Stanley Cup championships had good seasons last year for the LA Kings, but in between, they had a lot of young, developing players, and they do have terrific prospects in Byfield, Turcotte, Kaliyev, whether one or all of them play this season. Now you've all of a sudden added veterans to insulate you, and that's certainly a player like Phillip Danault who will ease the pressure off Kopitar of being that guy on a consistent basis to take all the important draws, be that defensive presence in the defensive zone as well. Now you got Danault to do all that, and I think Danault will also add to his offense with the Los Angeles Kings. This is a team, I'm going to make a bold prediction here already, and it's early summer. I think they can knock on the door making the playoffs this year and make a huge leap from last season where they were. I think they're that the additions of Edler, Danault, and Arvidsson can make that big of a difference. Those are veteran pieces that are real good players. They all bring a different element. Edler, that big, strong defenseman with a big shot from the point. And then you got Arvidsson, if he bounces back, has a big offensive year. I always loved him in Nashville. He's a real spark plug type player. And now Doughty and even Kopitar are going to be, and Brown are going to be rejuvenated like they were last year, even more so because they believe that maybe they can make the playoffs sooner than later, and I think they'll be knocking on the door of doing just that if these young guys can contribute as well.
Bold prediction. Phillip Danault in the playoffs was one of the most compelling stories, and his numbers don't tell that story, but all of us that watched it remember.